Hey everyone, it's Reuby Chip here and welcome back to the Epic Things series. This is where we dive deep into the lives of people who are living their dreams and working in industries they're passionate about. And you know what? They're also accountants. Today I'm super excited to introduce our next guest, Sam, who's a finance manager and a hardcore gamer. Bet you didn't expect that combo. We'll be chatting about how she combines her love for gaming with her accounting career. And trust me, you don't want to miss Sam's pretty epic journey from ski resorts to indie game development. Let's get into it. Sam, pleasure.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Please, Sam, tell us all about your hobbies and your passions.
I'm Sam. One of my hobbies is obviously gaming. So I work in the video game industry. I'm a finance manager and I do all things finance and accounting for currently a company called Surprise Attack.
Nice, Surprise Attack. Tell us more about that. What does Surprise Attack do?
Surprise Attack has two different businesses. One is a publishing business called Fellow Traveller, and the other side is a media and PR company called Double Jump Communications.
Nice. How did you find yourself in that role?
I've had a bit of a journey along the way, but I've always really liked accounting and finance. I really liked the kind of structure of it. I had a really great teacher in high school. I loved her and she got us into accounting, which was amazing. And then I had lots of different cool experiences in accounting from that. So I've worked at Buller Ski Lifts, which is a ski resort. I did kind of junior accounting there with them. And then I ended up in the video game industry. So before this, I was actually at a video game developer, a little indie one in Melbourne, called League of Geeks. Not Greeks, Geeks.
League of Geeks, okay. Yeah. And, okay, what was your favorite experience out of all of those?
Obviously the video game industry for me. They're really cool companies. They're small companies, you get to really know the people, you work with the founders and the business owners a lot, and you really work with them to kind of make sustainable video games, a sustainable business model, and also just seeing all the cool different products coming out there.
Amazing, so much, okay.
I've just thrown a lot at you.
Yeah, I love it though. Let's break it down. Would you say that your interest in gaming and your hobbies in general somewhat collide with your role in that way?
Yeah, for sure. I would say it goes the other way. So I think a lot of my financial skills help me in my gaming.
Really?
So I like playing a lot of kind of management sims or management simulations, and you essentially have to manage all the resources, manage the money, manage the different income coming in and things like that. And a lot of my finance knowledge and accounting knowledge helps me get really good at these games.
Awesome. And why do you love these type of games?
I don't know. I think it's like a achievement. Like you get a sense of achievement out of like seeing something grow, and knowing that you've actually had some hand in watching it grow and watching it be successful. And that's definitely the same for these positions in these smaller companies. You get to really work with the founders and push for what they really want.
So cool. And would you say that this kind of career, pursuing your passions, is really achievable for young accountants?
Yeah, 100%. It's okay to have goals, I would say. It's okay to have goals and work for them. So not everything's going to happen the way you want it to, but you'll get somewhere where you're really happy, I think.
Yeah.
And you'll find along the way that all the places that you've moved, so a lot of my experiences I haven't enjoyed, but it's got me to a point where now I realize what I actually like. Yeah. And it is the video game industry. And I didn't know that before. It took me some trial and error to get there, but now I'm here. I really love it. I wouldn't go back. Because you work so closely with smaller companies and the industry in Australia is quite small. Melbourne is seen as quite a big epicenter for a lot of video games, but there are developers all across Australia. You kind of get to know everyone. So like I was talking before, there's Melbourne International Games Week. So that's where an event where everyone comes down to Melbourne. And there's different industry events that you can go to, and it's just all about networking. And there's lots of different events on. So there's an event called GCAP, and that's the kind of the industry event that happens, and it's all about networking. A lot of people from my previous companies and current company, they do different talks. So you do different talks on finance things or HR things or specific video game development things. And it's all about networking. So I'll go there again. Hopefully this year I'll go there again, and I can go meet everyone that I worked with at my previous company, make more networks at other kind of places. And a lot of the time there as a finance person, game developers come up to you and they ask questions. So they ask questions of like, what am I doing with my finances? Like, what should I do? Is this going to work?
Answers?
Yeah. Sometimes, not off the cuff, but a lot of what being a CA and kind of working in accounting is just giving general kind of business and finance advice. Yeah. And that's what's really cool and what I like about it. You can kind of talk about you can kind of look at a business and kind of go, okay, what needs to get done here? These are kind of some issues. These are things that you could potentially look at. If you don't, this is potentially where you could go. If you do, then this is potentially where you could go. And that's what I really like.
What does your day-to-day look like as a financial manager?
So it's a small team, me and a finance officer. And then I mainly work with the department heads and also the two founders. And I work with them on their long-term strategy. So looking at, okay, what are we going to do in the next 5 years? What games can we invest in? How much money are we going to have to invest in those games? What games are we going to invest in? So I have a lot of dealings with actually analysing certain business proposals to us and looking at, is this going to be a profitable game for us to invest in? And when it's a go green light, it's really cool because then we get to see and help essentially these small developers work out their financials, and we can aid them to get there and launch a really cool product.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So you have like quite a significant involvement with these products, right?
Yeah, well, on the green light side, yeah.
On the green light side, you ever decide which ones make the cut and which ones don't?
On a financial side, yes. But mainly looking at their finances, making sure that they actually have a sustainable business model, they're paying themselves right, they're thinking about all the different costs that they have to do. And it's really important because if they didn't do these things, then think about the kind of costs that they need and will incur, they won't be able to launch their game in the end.
Yeah. And would you say that you're kind of like the backbone of all of these different groups?
I wouldn't say backbone, but especially when you get to kind of a lead position in finance in a certain company, especially small ones, it's a kind of running joke that even if the founders are there, if you're in the room, like I was in a meeting and they were talking about requesting more budget for something, and it's just a common joke to be like, is Sam in the room? Like, because they're like the founders, like, let's spend more money, and it's always like, oh no, Sam's like, no, we don't.
And what's it like working in that kind of environment with a lot of heavy hitters?
That's why I like the video game industry, because everyone's really chill. You can actually just have proper conversations with people, that kind of really high ego, high business kind of personas don't exist as much.
I just want to rewind a little bit because we've spoken about the ski resort, a bunch of other stuff. Have you been in Melbourne this entire time whilst doing this?
I have travelled a bit for my work, which has been really fantastic. So I was in Canada and lived in a little mountain town called Jasper in the Rocky Mountains.
Jasper.
Yeah.
That sounds so amazing.
It was really
so
cool. And the video game industry is really open to remote work and flexible work and things like that. Got to ski in the morning, got to snowboard in the morning, or just sleep in if I wanted to, and then work the afternoon.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yes. 100%. And as you know, one of the reasons that we're here is to devalidate the stigma that accounting has about it being boring. So we've heard a lot about your story, but what would you say to someone who thinks that accounting is boring, and how would you change their mind?
It depends on the personality type. So I think for me, there's a lot of power, I think, in accounting. And it's a lot of self-empowerment and also power and control over other things as well.
Right.
So it's kind of like a lot of the time I joke about having a crystal ball. So a lot of my job, and when you get into more senior positions, is kind of looking into the future, working with strategy, looking into the future and doing forecasts and different kind of scenario analysis. So a lot of what I do is looking at, okay, these are potentially all the different games we could invest in. These are the different projects we could take on. All these kind of questions that business owners have on, should I hire this person? Should I hire this person? Do we need to let go of some people? Do we want to invest in this company? Do we want to buy this company? Should we sell some of our company? Those kind of questions, mainly a lot of the time comes down to finances as the key question of yes or no. Do we go ahead with this or not?
We've heard a little bit about living remotely. Are there any other cool perks and cool benefits that come with your role?
Yes, there are. So I get a lot of free games in my current role.
Yes.
So
yes.
A lot of games that we kind of scout for, so we're kind of interested in and we're not sure if we're going to invest in. We also do a kind of narrative kind of festival, online festival called Ludinaricon. And we essentially get lots of different narrative games that we put on display. We talk with the developers, and we get a lot of free Steam keys for that as well.
I've got to ask this question because I just have to, and I really want to, but how do accountants make epic things happen?
I think they can make anything happen. That's like our key role. Like for me, it's making sure that my founders can achieve the goals that they want to. So, and if it wasn't for like me working for them, they wouldn't know where to invest in. They wouldn't be making sometimes decisions that were the best financial decisions for them to be sustainable and to keep doing what they really want to do. And I think that's relevant for every industry, not just games.
Would you say you've had to improvise through a lot of problems?
Oh, 100%. Most of my job is just problem solving. Like, it's going, okay, what do I do with this?
Is there anything that's surprised you about your career so far? Or surprised you about accounting?
Yeah, I think it's very different to like the high school accounting I learned. So high school accounting is very like, it seems so old school. Like high school accounting is like pen and paper, debit, credit, ledgers. Like, it's just not even relevant anymore. It's like not even the same thing. Like the principle's the same, like the concept's the same, you think the same, but the medium and the method that you do it on is completely different. One thing that I think I really like accounting for is that it helps you make a lot of these decisions for business, but also your personal life.
So good.
So like my personal finances are like the best because
teach me how.
It's a
Show
skill.
me the light.
It's a skill that just happens when you start learning and studying it. Like you can actually figure out, okay, can I afford my first car? Can I afford, hey, I want to buy a puppy like when I grow up, or all these things that you want to do. I can plan for it and I can see how much money I'm going to be earning. I can see how much my expenses are, and it just becomes natural because you do it in your job all the time. So of course you're going to do it personally. And it helps you really get the things that you want in life, because these are core finance skills that you need in your own life as well. So yeah.
How do accountants make an impact in the world?
I have a couple of friends that want to start their own passions and do their own things. I'm able to help them through my accounting and finance knowledge to actually set them on the right path so they can achieve their goals and whatever they want to achieve. So at least in the video game space that I'm working in now, like I've definitely supported a lot of indie developers looking at starting their own game. And sometimes they just want to tell a story. They want to tell a story about grief, or they want to tell a story about mental health, or they want to tell a story about any sort of topic or their story. And we're able to do it by assisting them in telling them, okay, well, you'll need money to do it. This is the money that you can get. This is the money that you need to spend in order to get there. There's so many stories of game developers who have run out of money because they haven't budgeted properly. They've went over in terms of things, in terms of costs. So as a finance person there to help them navigate that, you can help them navigate it so they actually get to a product and get to actually create a game that they wanted to achieve in the end. So I think finance people and accountants definitely make it possible for people to achieve their goals.
And that wraps up another epic episode of Epic Things. Today we got a sneak peek into how Sam navigates the exciting world of video games as a finance manager. From balancing budgets to greenlighting games, she is actual proof that you can turn your passion into a career in accounting. If you're feeling inspired and want to hear more stories like Sam's, make sure to visit our channel and hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you're thinking about how you can follow your dreams and work in an industry you love, don't forget to check out our website for more info. Keep chasing those passions, and we'll see you in the next episode.